Radio check, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You guys should be able to hear me. We are now 30 minutes away from the start of qualifying, not free practice one. Yeah, we are 30 minutes away from the start of that. And we've had our 3 practice sessions. The drivers have got used to the circuit, and there is a lot to look forward to. Qualifying is going to be as tight as ever. I mean, look at that gap from 4th position all the way down to 11th. The gap is 0.4 of a second, of course, up at the front. The 3 top drivers, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen, do have a bit of a gap up at the front, but we'll wait and see. That normally does close up as we get towards the latter stages of qualifying. Alright, we've got 600, 700 people already tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel, and it helps out the YouTube algorithm as well. Okie dokes. So, currently up on the screen we have got the timings from the end of free practice 3, where you can see that Lando Norris topped the times with Piastri in second and 10th back, Verstappen in third place 2/10 back. Then we have Antonelli, the home hero, in 4th position. He'll be looking to score some solid points, maybe even get his first podium here in Imola. That would be mega. First podium in a home race as well. That would be incredible for him. So let's wait and see what will happen. We've got Charles Leclerc, of course, Ferrari's home race as well. Fifth to him in FP3. He was 0.4 ahead of his teammate, which was a pretty good showing from Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz as well, outdoing his teammate Alex Albon by about 0.3 of a second. So pretty good going there from Sainz. He's managed to adapt to this Williams car pretty well and very quickly indeed. So I think he should be, I think he should be getting through into Q3. Isaac Hadjar did a fantastic qualifying lap on a set of soft tyres, and he's cemented himself in 7th position, double the positions, half the position, of his teammate, who's in 14th place. All the way back is Liam Lawson. So, yeah, a lot of work there for Liam Lawson too. Hadjar, though, is performing exceptionally again and again, and which I think is incredible. Okay. Alphon Gamer, do you think Mercedes has a chance of pole? Well, I didn't expect Mercedes to get pole in Miami, and then Kimi Antonelli went and stuck it on pole, so there's always a chance. However, I think it is slightly less likely than typical. Alright, I think Lewis can pull another Singapore 2018 Grand Prix. There's always the possibility, but the problem is Lewis just is not as comfortable in the Ferrari as he was back in 2018 in that Mercedes, so we shall just wait and see, really. Yeah, Hamilton hasn't had the best of times. Looking through the telemetry data, it seems very clear that Hamilton is struggling in the high-speed corners. And also then, since last weekend, or just not even last week, since yesterday, he's been complaining about brake issues on the Ferrari, not braking as expected. And, they're going to have to get that resolved ASAP, otherwise things aren't going to be going well. It's a very similar story to what happened with Daniel Ricciardo. He went from Red Bull to Renault, and then the brakes were never the same, and you would expect Daniel Ricciardo, the last of the late breakers, to pull off some sensational moves, but the brakes were different. He wasn't able to compete, and things weren't particularly ideal for him. So we'll see how it works out for Lewis Hamilton. All right. Good day, good morning, everyone. Alright. Imola is like the Japanese Grand Prix. Reaching pole means almost a guaranteed win. It is similar to that. However, the DRS zone here in Imola is longer than the DRS zone in Japan. So if there is a chance, a slightly higher chance of overtaking. Yeah, and we've also got softer tyres compared to what we have in Japan, so they wear out a lot quicker, and potential chances for a 2-stop. So it's all sort of up in the air, and we'll just have to wait and see. But it is a tough circuit to overtake at, and it is one of only 3 circuits in the Formula 1 calendar this year that has just one DRS zone. It is Suzuka, then we have Imola, and then we have Monaco. Those are the 3 with just one DRS zone, and that kind of indicates the chances of the overtaking possibilities. And F1 Gamer, how difficult / different is the C6 tyre compound? Well, it's a pretty standard Pirelli compound. It's just 1 step softer. And the issue with that is when track temperature is up at 38 degrees, 39, 40, 45 degrees, something along those lines, the tyres start overheating during the qualifying lap itself, which, to an extent always happens, but the extent at which the tyres are overheating today with the C6s is sort of never really seen before levels of overheating. And If the temperature drops, then we should be fine. However, if it doesn't, then there's a chance of potentially the teams doing and using soft tires for the the medium tires for their for their qualifying laps, because it just has a slightly higher chance of holding it together for an entire quali lap, which is a little bit strange to say the least, to be honest. But we shall wait and see how things are going and what the teams end up doing. We may see some surprise entries where some drivers come out on mediums, and maybe it works out for them, maybe it doesn't. We will just have to wait and see. Alright, if you've got any other questions, then be sure to just type at F1Gamer, and it pops up orange for me on my screen. I think my message got missed, but quali predictions from you. Well, I think I said my top 5 quali predictions: Norris, Piastri, Verstappen. In fact, my top 5 quali predictions are the top 5 in FP3. How peculiar or surprising, shall I say. Normally our predictions are pretty far off, but yeah, I predicted the top 5 being in any random order: Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Antonelli and Leclerc, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened in FP3. So maybe it happens again. We shall just have to wait and see. Do you think Franz Hermann deserves a seat? I think Franz Hermann definitely deserves a seat, and if he's negotiating contracts with other teams, then there's a lot of interesting rumours about to start flying about. We'll see what Franz Hermann does, and does he go to Aston Martin for that $300 million offer, or 300 million euro, whatever it is? Bro, what is with all the yellow flags on the track map? Honestly, I have no idea. I think they must have just been testing out their systems, or maybe they're cleaning up some gravel or something at the end of FP3. But it's not particularly relevant, really. Alright, qualifying isn't started. We've still got 22 minutes left to go for the start of the session. Ladies and gents, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel, and it basically just tells the YouTube algorithm, oh, this is a really good live stream. I'm going to recommend the live stream to a bunch of other people. And of course, the more people we have on the channel and watching the stream, the more the merrier. Alright, so a couple of other things to go over. A lot of upgrades this weekend. If you guys didn't tune into the free practice streams, every single team has got upgrades apart from Williams and Kick Sauber. Williams and Kick Sauber both have switched over the development to 2026 from now on. So no more upgrades for the 2025 cars for Williams or Kick Sauber. They'll have slightly different front wings. Like, for example, in Monaco, they will have the high downforce rear wing, but it's not going to be an upgraded high downforce rear wing. It'll probably be similar to what they already previously had. Now, Aston Martin have brought the biggest upgrade package out of any team. They tested it out yesterday. Yesterday, they had Stroll driving around the upgraded car, Alonso drive out the normal car, and they compared the results, compared the downforce levels, compared everything, and it seems like the new upgrade package is working for them, and they decided to have both drivers drive with the upgrade package in today's session. So, I think there's a real good shot for a good performance out of one of the Aston Martin drivers. We'll just have to wait and see who it is. Who's your best driver on the grid? I have to say, my favorite driver of all time is Seb Vettel, but if you have to say on the grid, then I don't know, maybe Tsunoda or Alonso or Piastri. Like, I'm not really particularly certain on anyone. Who is the fastest in Imola, Lando or Oscar? Well, by the looks of it, it's Lando. He's had the upper edge on Oscar for all of the free practice sessions, ending up ahead of him, I think, or at least for the majority of the session. When both drivers went out and did their runs at the same time, Norris would come out ahead. Not every single time, but I think more times than Piastri was ahead. So I would say Norris, but you never count out Piastri, really. These two drivers have been so close to each other, and apart from the Miami qualifying session, Oscar Piastri has been within a tenth of a second of pole position for the rest of the season. So if you just exclude Miami, every other race, Oscar has been within a tenth of pole position. So I'd never really count him out, given his performance in the season so far. All right. What type of music do you listen to? Well, in fact, I've got my headphones on right now, and I'm listening to the Formula 1 theme song. So that is what I listen to. I've got the Formula 1 theme song playing in my head, in my ear. Right now, Williams have been making some decent pace here. Any upgrades that they've introduced at the circuit? No upgrades for Williams. Just pure pace, pure skill from the drivers, and their car has just been fantastic since the start of the season. They made that big splash in preseason testing, going top of the times at the end of the day, and then translated over to some real performance. It wasn't, of course, top of the grid performance, but regardless, a huge upgrade compared to last season for the Williams team. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I have the Fleetwood Mac song also in my playlist as well. Like, I have an F1 hype playlist that's currently playing through my head, through my ears, headphones. Yeah, that I sometimes listen to on streams. So yeah. Okie doke. So we got 2,100 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Just running through what happened in FP1, FP2. Nothing all that much really. We had Bortolesso crash at the end of FP1, bringing out the red flag, but the crash was not that major. He got quite lucky and crashed sideways into the barriers, which meant pretty minimal damage. And then we also saw, who was it? Isaac Hadjar. He spun yesterday, and not the biggest amount of damage really. He was all right, and he was good to go in today's session. And he took the lessons learned from yesterday and still managed to put up into 7th position, which is fantastic. Why is Lewis always struggling to drive the car? Since China, I wish him the best. Yeah, I mean, things haven't been going so great for him, really. And in China as well, I think he got slightly lucky with the fact that, he did get pole position in the sprint and managed to keep ahead, but it later got revealed that the reason he was so quick was because Ferrari had sort of made a mistake in their setup, and they'd basically just given Lewis Hamilton a car that was too low to the ground, which makes it quicker, of course, but of course it resulted in him getting disqualified in the actual race. So yeah, I don't really know how to solve Lewis Hamilton's issues. He's losing time in the high speed, not enough confidence, not enough grip. So I'm not sure what to say. Is a Surfshark deal you promote give full coverage of free practice quali in the race? Yeah. It gives full. You get the free practice, the quali, and the race. So if you guys want to, in fact, I should probably put the link in the chat. But if you guys do want to get Surfshark VPN, you can watch all of the coverage for free. Well, as long as you buy Surfshark. So yeah, and you do get all of the practice, all of the quali, and all of the race as well. What do you think of the Doohan Colapinto swap? Well, see, that's a tough one, isn't it? Doohan really did not have enough time in that car to prove himself to say, oh, I'm a good driver, I'm not totally like horrendously slow or anything. And it's not particularly fair to just replace him halfway through the season, not even halfway through the season, like a quarter of the way through the season. Yeah, we do know that Colapinto, was able to deliver when he got into the Williams car last year, but there was still no real reason. Doohan wasn't crashing the car all the time. He wasn't that much slower than Gasly all the time, and Gasly's been in fantastic form. You also have to take that into account. And Doohan sometimes has actually been getting close to Gasly, so I think it's very, very unfair that Doohan has been replaced. I still wish Colapinto well, and I'm sure he will do well. But I feel bad for Doohan really, because he didn't really do anything wrong and lost his seat in Formula One that he's worked so hard for. How do you watch for free? I got Surfshark. Essentially, all you've got to do is join an Austrian VPN server and then search ORF. Let me just put the instructions up on the screen. There we go. Yeah, you just search ORF, make an account, log in, and then you enjoy Formula One coverage. Is the track glitched or what? No, it's just what the leftover telemetry and data from the end of the Free Practice 3 session. Evan Gamer, do you know about anything about GT3? I didn't, but I did see the tweet about Max Verstappen and some GT3 driver. Some GT3 driver basically said, "Oh, Max Verstappen was using a car that was too powerful for the regulations, so something." And then Max was like, "Actually, no. I was using the correct car and the correct regulations, and I still destroyed your lap time. Thank you very much." So you can insult Max Verstappen about anything, but you cannot call and he'll take it. Like Max Verstappen's not going to say a thing. You can say anything about Max Verstappen, but if you call him slow, that's when you've got a problem on your hands, and that's when Max Verstappen's going to come and I don't know, just prove you wrong essentially. Yeah. So don't call Max Verstappen slow. That's just going to go backwards. Okie dokes. Let's wait and see. Yeah, we're 15 minutes away. In fact, I'll take you through an onboard lap of the circuit. So here we go. Let me just turn the onboard on, and this is a replay of me playing the F1 game. And if you get on the power too early out of the final corner, touch the curb too early, and yeah, into the gravel you go. So that's what happens if you get on the power too early. The drivers will have to be careful, especially with the overheating tyres at the end of their quali laps. But yeah, this is a lap on of the Imola Grand Prix circuit. And here you are, coming towards Ravazza, then the final corner. The most important thing here, just to get a good exit, as much power down as early as possible, and smoothly onto the straights, upshift nicely with DRS wide open, and now minimise the distance as you travel along the main straight. The driver's approaching 320 kilometers per hour, 200 miles per hour. The slam on the brakes at the 70-meter mark. Turn in, hit the first apex. Don't go over the second apex, otherwise you will spin, like we saw Lawson in FP3. Then now towards the Villeneuve chicane, lift off, flick the car in, brake in a straight line, now turn right, very big change in direction. The drivers and the tyres really start feeling the pain here. Then through Tosa you go, make sure to get that late apex, go very, very early on the power, and then up the hill now towards Piratella. There's no entry curb, you have to be very careful not to touch the grass, flick the car to left, stay within track limits. We saw a couple of issues here, Piastri exceeded track limits here at Aqua Minerali, where you brake while you're turning, like Bahrain turn 10, stay on the inside of that curb, otherwise there is gravel on the exit. Now towards Variante Alta, Hamilton was having braking issues through this corner, but you want to make sure that you drive over the curbs, maximise as much lap time as possible without, leaving the track. Of course, otherwise your lap time will be deleted. And now the final two corners of Ravazza, two left-hand corners, 90 degrees, and all you've got to do is just get a nice exit onto the main straight, and that is a lap of Imola, ladies and gentlemen. It is a fantastic circuit, very old school, very difficult to overtake at, but that just means qualifying is all the more important, which is brings the stakes even higher for this weekend, for this session starting in 12 minutes time. Yeah, Max Verstappen, he did set a record apparently on a full tank of fuel, which is incredible, really incredible. But he just gets in any car, and the guy's just right at the top of the pack. No practice required. I mean, I'm sure he must have done like something in iRacing in GT3, but iRacing compared to real life is not an accurate simulator. Like, there are so much better simulators, and I don't think Max was driving those. I think he just got in the car and was like, yeah, I might as well just set a lap record here. Alright. I don't think I asked you a few weeks back if you could collab with a non-applicable for a commentary session. Has that request gone anywhere? No, I haven't looked into commentating with anyone else. I think so far it's going alright. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it going that way. Alright. He does all that stuff just to remind us that it's just an F1 car, that he's still the GOAT. Yeah, well, we'll see. He's going to need another one of those special quali laps if he's going to stick it on pole position today, because it once again looks like the McLarens, their upgrades worked well. Red Bull's upgrades, not so much. And it's going to be another tough uphill battle for Max Verstappen. Of course, Red Bull are going to do everything. They're going to compromise the race setup. They're going to go all out for qualifying. And then they're going to rely on Max Verstappen's defensive prowess to just keep the McLarens behind on race day. I think that's the best way forward. Otherwise, if he starts behind the McLarens, it's going to be super duper difficult to get ahead of them in this Grand Prix. There's going to need to be like a mistake in the pit stops, or these drivers, or Verstappen's just going to have to apply huge amounts of pressure till the McLarens make a mistake. So the best sort of procedure for Verstappen to win the race is get pole position and then just block the McLarens for every single racing lap, which I think would be mega to watch, really. Yeah. You should get a co-commentator who does talk an awful lot. Yeah, I mean, I quite like it, to be fair. Sometimes my throat doesn't particularly like it, like my throat starts hurting, but I quite enjoy just commentating on my own. But who knows? Piastri and Poli has that Italian DNA in him. Oh yeah, I'm sure Oscar Piastri is like 1/16 Italian, so technically it's partial home race. And if it's a home race, then you get that little extra boost, don't you? I'm sure Kimi Antonelli is hoping for that little extra boost to help him stay ahead of George Russell and potentially stick it on the podium this weekend. All right. So here we go, ladies and gents. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Let me know who you think is going to be getting pole position, and also who do you think is going to be getting knocked out in Q3? Will we have any surprise eliminations? Yuki Tsunoda on the soft tires in FP3 was really lacking in pace. He just came over the radio saying zero pace, absolutely zero pace. So who knows? Will he get knocked out in Q1? I mean, in recent weeks, he has been improving. He's been getting closer to max. Still a long way back because Verstappen has just been pulling out mega performances. But who knows what will happen to Tsunoda? Hopefully, he makes it through into Q3. Maybe they replace Yuki Tsunoda with Franz Hermann, because to be honest, I've never seen Max Verstappen and Franz Hermann in the same room. So maybe they're the same person, maybe they're not. We'll have to wait and see. How many pit stops in the race tomorrow? Well, we have got a step softer tyres compared to last year. Last year was a one-stop. So you would think a two-stop, but the sort of the opposite, the contrary idea to that is that Imola has the longest pit lane out of any Formula 1 circuit on the calendar, which means that the drivers lose the most time driving through the pit lane. I think it's going to be like 24, 25, 26 seconds, something along those lines. And that really makes it difficult to justify a two-stop race. So even though we have softer tyres, I think it's going to be a one-stop. We'll have to wait and see. I'd love for it to be a two-stop, but with the Imola being the longest pit lane in the Formula 1 calendar, it seems slightly unlikely. All right. Yeah. Let's see, what else have we got to talk about? Oh yeah, we'll get the qualifying data, in fact, loaded up. Give me just a second here, folks. We should have the qualifying data up. Fantastic. So we'll have Q1 18 minutes, Q2 15 minutes, Q3 12 minutes as standard. Track temperature 41 degrees. Wind has picked up a little bit to 8 kilometers per hour. Air temperature is 22 degrees. And apart from that, the humidity is quite low and the drivers will be happy about that. Alright folks, also if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. And if you aren't subscribed, be sure to do that as well. Hopefully we can hit 158k subs today. That would put us on track for 200k subs by the end of the season. Alright. What was the yellow flag for? The yellow flag was right at the end of FP3, so it's not even relevant to right now. I don't know what it was for, to be fair, as well, so yeah. Do you live stream on Twitch as well? I did, however, my internet connection is not good enough to be able to live stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, so it's YouTube for me, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure one car will crash with the soft tires. Nobody looks stable. Not even Norris on the softs. Yeah, it's a pretty difficult one, isn't it? Those soft tires. They are stable at the start of the lap, and then towards the end, you either get more and more understeer, which we saw with Piastri, or you get more and more oversteer, which we saw with Hamilton and Leclerc. So yeah, it's a tough one, and the drivers have got to manage it. Really, these are the best drivers in the world, and let's hope that they can fight and manage with these tires. Will everyone be using the soft tires? That is what we currently think. However, with the track temperatures being now 41 degrees Celsius, that means that the overheating probability is quite high. So I think we may see at least one or two teams experiment with the medium tires and say, ooh, do the medium tires actually work better over the course of the lap, because the drivers can just push absolutely flat out. There's no need to worry about overheating, whereas the drivers on the soft tires, they have to get their tire warm up absolutely perfect. Not a single mistake can be made. They have to do the exact same thing for all of their quali laps as well. They might have to back off maybe in the first sector just so they aren't overheating by a stupid amount right at the end of the lap. So maybe one way will be faster, maybe the other way will be faster. Only time will tell. And the other thing is, the teams don't have that many medium tires. So even if it turned out that the medium tires were faster than the softs for the course of a quali lap, they simply don't have enough to drive them and use them as part of quali. Yeah. Weather forecaster report, it is nice and sunny in Imola. There are no clouds really in sight, or nothing that's going to come and fly over the circuit. So, yeah, no concerns for weather for today. All right. So we have got 4,500 people watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We are 4 minutes and 20 seconds away from the start of the session. That is a pretty nice number. Okay. So here we are then. I'm guessing Piastri, Norris and Russell. We'll see how these three do in the season, yeah. The purple dot. Oh, yeah. The purple dot refers to where the speed trap is, and it also refers to where the DRS detection point is. So, come race day tomorrow, if the drivers are 1 second behind at the purple dot, then that means that they will have the performance. They will have the DRS, on the next lap. And, yeah. That's just an extra little piece of information that I thought would be useful to add onto the screen. Okay. What are your thoughts about Ollie? Ollie Behrman has been doing pretty well, actually. The Haas team themselves haven't been doing that well, but I think Behrman on occasion has done better than Ocon, which I think is a great start. Ocon, a pretty established midfield driver in Formula One. He is pretty consistent and all around just a good driver. And Behrman has been getting close, sometimes behind, sometimes ahead. And I think that's fantastic for his rookie season, and he'll have bright hopes ahead for the future. Yeah, we shall just have to wait and see. Sauber is their 600th race this weekend. Hopefully they get a nice present. Yeah, I think it's Red Bull's 400th race as well. So yeah, a lot of a nice little milestone here. Of course, this potentially could be the last race in Imola for a long time. It's coming off the sort of contract rotation for next year. We're not going to have Zandvoort next year. We're not going to have Imola next year. Spa is going on rotation. I mean, the Formula One, they've done a fantastic thing growing the sport with Drive to Survive. This new movie is also probably going to be pretty good, but yeah, they should really pick some better circuits because their circuit selection just isn't really going on that well, is it? Yeah. Okay. I think in Q1 they'll use mediums as they will seek to use them in Q3. Maybe. We'll just have to see, won't we? But we've got Miami for 15 years. Miami for 15 years. I mean, I don't know how they even extended that contract out to 2039 or 2040, whatever it was. That is wild. If the track is wet conditions, accept the DRS in, would the DRS be enabled or would it be dry? Typically, the FIA sort of puts out a message saying, it is wet or it is not. Like they have a sort of just on-off switch saying yes for rain and no for rain. And once they switch that to yes, that typically means DRS gets switched off. So to answer your question, it's got to just be raining sort of at any part of the circuit. And once that part is sufficiently wet enough to declare the circuit wet, then DRS will get disabled. Oh, here we go. You can already see drivers popping up on the screen there. They're already queuing up at the end of the pit lane, getting ready to go qualifying. Question is, what circuit outside the calendar has potential? The Algarve racing circuit, Sepang, the racing circuit in India, the one in Korea, the one in South Africa. Yeah, there are a lot of circuits which have got potential. The Nürburgring, the Hockenheimring, where else? The Magny-Cours in France, the Paul Ricard also in France isn't too bad. So yeah, there is so much potential, and Formula One just keeps on picking the wrong circuits. Istanbul, exactly. There is so many different circuits. Bathurst, Bathurst over the hill might be a bit difficult in terms of the gradient, because Formula One cars have a certain gradient that they can't exceed. Otherwise, the car will just end up bottoming out. So there's that. But apart from that, everything else. All right. I haven't seen a wet quali before. If it rains mid-quali, with the previous dry laps not be counted? No, they will be. They will be counted. So you just have to sometimes time the weather. You've got to get lucky sometimes. And if you go out when it's dry, then then good for you. If you don't, then, unfortunately, you've just been knocked out of qualifying. But here we go. The timer has hit 0. We have got our first driver out onto the circuit. Nico Hülkenberg is on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway for qualifying here in Imola. Okie dokes. Let me see. Who do you think is going to be getting pole position? Who do you think is going to be getting eliminated? Let me know what you think. Here we go. All the engine modes are going to be turned up. It is totally dry out in Imola. The sun is shining. The Tifosi are here in full force for Kimi Antonelli and for the Ferrari team. And we have got... we've got everyone else coming out onto the circuit now. Very nice. All of the drivers trying to cool down their tyres as much as possible. Track temperature down to 39 degrees. Every degree it goes down, the drivers breathe a sigh of release. It really is going to help them out in the long run for this quali session. Okie dokes. So we have got... just 6-7 drivers out onto the circuit so far. Sainz, Hamilton, Albon all making their way out soon enough. And as you can see, everyone is crawling about on the circuit, trying to maximize, trying to reduce their tyre temperature. They're picking the tracks based on which make the most money, not which is the most fun. That is the most accurate description of what is going on right now. So let's wait and see who will be getting pole position. Will it be Max Verstappen? Will it be Franz Hermann? Will it be Lando Norris? Will it be Oscar Piastri? Who knows? This is going to be a very exciting qualifying session. Maybe Charles Leclerc can pull out something special. George Russell, a bit of a dark horse. Well, I've been saying he's a bit of a dark horse for quite a while now, so maybe he's not a dark horse and we can just expect good things from the Mercedes team. They also have brought upgrades. All of the teams have brought upgrades. Ferrari's upgrades don't seem to have worked all that well, but we shall wait and see. Alpine as well, they've brought upgrades. In fact, everyone has brought upgrades apart from Williams and Kick Sauber. The biggest upgrades being for Aston Martin, so I do hope Alonso can make it through into Q3. What actually is Franz Hermann? Franz Hermann is this concept. Basically, what happened was Max Verstappen tried to go incognito at the Nordschleife, at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. He raced, I think, a GT3 car or something along those lines. I don't know exactly which car, but he raced under the name of Franz Hermann. He wasn't properly incognito because he was racing a Red Bull livery car, which had Verstappen.com written on the side of it. So clearly wasn't that incognito, but he raced under the name Franz Hermann. And now we're all just making jokes about how Franz Hermann is quicker than Yuki Tsunoda or anything along those lines. Yeah. Okay, so here we go then. GT3, and I got an unofficial lap record of a 7:48. Yeah, and just a great lap really from Max at the Nürburgring. So, but all eyes now are on Hamilton, in fact, on a flying lap. Let's see what Hamilton can do. He's making his way through the first sector. Very, very nicely done. He's driving this car quite well, still through the highest speed, not going all the way up to the edge of the track. Still, it is the start of Q1, and the drivers do have to be wary and not crash, essentially, because they've still got... If they get crashed now, then that'll be the end of their session, end of the race, really, because they're going to be starting just so far back. Who decides who get put first in the pit lane? McLaren do. They get to pick if they're at the front or at the back of the pit lane, and then the order is the Constructors' Championship. So I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So McLaren can pick either being at the start of the pit lane or the end of the pit lane, and if McLaren pick the start, then they go from the team that was first in the championship is going to be at the start, and then the team that's second is second from the start, and then so on and so forth. Yeah. All right. So we got... Oh my God, Fernando Alonso has got a quicker lap than Lewis Hamilton. Are we back in 2007, 2008? What's going on here? Fantastic lap, though, from the upgraded Aston Martin. And Alonso is 0.6 ahead of his teammate, which is mega. Then we've got Albon with a great lap in the Williams that goes 1/10 quicker than Fernando Alonso. And we've got Charles Leclerc on a flying lap as well. Let's wait and see what he can do. All right. Just looking at the speed traps, we'll get some more top speed information here, but it looks like the car that's quickest through the speed traps is Charles Leclerc. He comes out of the final corner now. Let's see what he can do. Foot flat to the floor. It's only 5th position for Charles Leclerc, and in fact, he's 3 or a quarter of a second back from his teammate. Lando Norris out of the pit lane. Oscar Piastri making his way out soon as well, and we'll have all of the drivers starting their flying laps or ending them very, very soon. Verstappen now going to be starting a flying lap as well. Here we go. Very, very nice. But Alex Albon top of the times, which is mega. Carlos Sainz fourth position. He's only a quarter of a second back as well. So the Williams looking really good. And now the McLarens are out. Let's see, the big guns are out onto the track. And Franz Hermann starting a flying lap here, going through now towards the Villeneuve chicane. And, well, he's got his work cut out for him. That Red Bull isn't all that quick, but Verstappen, purple in the first sector. He does it again. Franz Hermann is here, and he is here to break another lap record. All right. Here we go then. Oh, yellow flag, Tsunoda. Tsunoda has stopped on the side of the circuit. Is this going to be a big crash? What is going on? He was on a flying lap. He was doing quite well. Red flag is out, ladies and gents. Max Verstappen's good quali lap has been paused, and it's a huge crash for Tsunoda. Absolutely huge. He goes through the Villeneuve chicane. That part of the circuit is very dangerous. There's a huge change of direction. The car must have snapped out from underneath him, and he went straight into the barriers. The front, left, right, rear, right, left, right, all of it gone. Front wing, rear wing gone. And it's going to be a huge job to repair that car. But the Red Bull second driver curse is back. And honestly, I think the second driver alongside Max Verstappen should be Franz Hermann. Tsunoda is totally fine. He gets out of the car. He removes his hands device. And he is climbing out of the car just fine. But that is the end of his qualifying session. And that is a red flag out. The timer has been paused. We've got 12 minutes 13 seconds left on the clock. So more than enough time for drivers to do 2 runs if they want. But the Red Bull fans won't be pleased with this one, and we got a replay here of Tsunoda. Oh my goodness me, very unfortunate. Just hit the curb way too hard and spun. Right, I'll show you on the onboard what happened to Yuki Tsunoda. So, let's see, fast forward here, fast forward a little bit further. All right, so, I've just missed it actually. So we exit. Now we're going towards the Villeneuve chicane, and it's just here. So I, very slightly missing this apex. Tsunoda was, however, just over on the left-hand side. So let me just show you guys again. And yeah, essentially where you can see these yellow curbs, that's where Yuki Tsunoda was, and way too much curb through that corner. He touched the curbs, the cars did a 180, and straight into the barriers on the left-hand side. That is where Yuki Tsunoda crashed. Up into the air, the car flipped around. Oh my goodness me. The halo definitely saved him there. He went over the gravel into the wall, and then did like a somersault. He landed the right way up. But a very big crash there for Tsunoda. He gets into the medical car and he'll be taken back to the garage. But yeah, over this curb, that's what he did. Drove over this curb way too harshly, spun around, flew into the barriers, and that's the end of his session, unfortunately. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is fine. He's got into the medical car just because it's procedure to get into the medical car. It's not like he's severely injured or anything like that. But yeah, very unfortunate for Yuki Tsunoda, and that looks like a very stricken Red Bull. I mean, every corner of that car is destroyed. There's no front wing, there's no rear wing, and the suspension is gone, the nose cone is gone, everything. Unfortunately, looks like Yuki Tsunoda is eliminated out of Q1. The Red Bull fans are not pleased whatsoever. Yeah, it is definitely time for a new chassis. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe that crash. It's time to get a new chassis for Yuki Tsunoda. We've got 12,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you guys are interested in watching the coverage, not having just me describe it to you, then what you got to do is get Surfshark VPN. There's a link in the description. There's a link in the chat. You can watch Formula 1 for $2 a month. You just got to get Surfshark VPN. Then you download it onto your computer or your phone. You join an Austrian VPN server. You search ORF into Google, and then you make an account, log in, job done, and then you can watch Formula 1. The commentary is German, so of course if you are from Germany, then that's perfect for you. If not, you can mute the commentary and listen to mine instead. But yeah, that's I just got to mention that because I'm sponsored by them. And back to the coverage then. So we'll get a message from race control soon enough about when the session's going to restart, but it's going to take a while. They're going to have to clear up all the debris, check the barriers, check all of the railings and everything, because he did go fly into the barriers, then into the railings, and they're going to have to make sure everything is A-OK, just in case a similar crash happens again, and nobody else should get injured. Okay, I will. I'll put a timer up as soon as the FIA sort of give us an announcement of when the session's going to restart. I will stick a timer up on the screen, just to let you guys know. But as of right now, we have no information. Are you not sponsored by F1 TV? Oh no, I am, but I can be sponsored by both, and I've basically told F1 TV I'll do a proper sponsorship for you guys later, and I'll do Surfshark for now, and they're fine with it. So. Yeah. All right. The clocks are stopped. Otherwise, Albon in P1. Yeah. No, we would have. Of course, the clocks do have to stop for qualifying. We'll have 12 minutes once the session does restart. Every other driver is in the pit lane. They've already got a tractor out. They've picked up Tsunoda's car, so that's a good sign. And now the marshals are inspecting all of the barriers and looking at, if there's anything that needs to be repaired. But he did go flying into a bunch of tire, like a tire wall essentially, so he should be fine. Yeah. Okie dokes. What happened? Yuki Tsunoda crashed. That is what happened. Alright. Track temperature still at 41 degrees, so the drivers will still be struggling with these soft tyres. Oh, hello, Kia. It's nice to see you here. Good to see you back on the stream. Damn, I saw the replay. Yeah, bro flipped. Indeed, he did. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda flipped around after crashing into the barrier there, but he is absolutely fine. And the Red Bull mechanics, not so much. They're going to have to work all night to get that car repaired in time for tomorrow, and he'll be starting from dead last anyway at a circuit where it's not quite easy to overtake. So, yeah, it's a long day in the office for the Red Bull mechanics. Alright, Yuki Tsunoda's car has been escorted off the side of the circuit. It's been picked up by a tractor and it's off to the side already now. Now it's just final inspections of the tyre wall and the barriers to make sure those are good to go. And then we will be fine to go racing. F1 Gamer, can you explain the different tyres? Yeah, essentially we've got the soft, medium and the hards. The soft wear out the quickest. They give the most grip though. But they'll probably, if you drive too many laps on them, they'll give you a puncture within like 10, 15 laps or so. The medium tyres are a little bit more durable, but a little bit less grip. And the same thing for the hards. The hards are the most durable, but they have the least grip. How many G's? Any idea? Unfortunately, I don't have any. Don't have any idea. I don't think it's been reported or anything. But I don't think it was the highest G impact because it took him a little while to decelerate. He crashed into the tire barrier, then flipped over, and then flipped over in the correct way, and then landed. So I don't think the G will be particularly high. All right. Yeah, they'll have to look at all of the sensors and stuff and then figure out how much G it was later. But Verstappen was on a flying lap, really. He's not going to be particularly happy about the fact that his teammate just ruined it. Also, Verstappen will be looking to sort of organise a tow, because we've seen this happen in Miami where a tow is very, very important. You can gain just 2/10 of a second for free. Now that Tsunoda is not going to be making it through into Q3, Max Verstappen will start after playing, best friends with whichever driver he wants. Give them a tow in hopefully Q1, Q2, hope that driver makes it through into Q3, and then they return the favour to Max Verstappen. That is sort of the way how things have worked, and the Max Verstappen has been getting an edge ahead of the McLaren drivers because, of course, those two aren't going to yield to each other. They're not going to give each other a tow whatsoever. So Verstappen has to play some games. He's got to use every single trick in the book if he's going to get pole position ahead of these two McLarens. 15 laps to the soft. Oh, when I say 15 laps to the soft, I mean that number is 15 laps till they get a puncture. So ideally, you don't want to be doing more than 7 on them or 8, which is not going to really work when we have, I think, a 57 lap race around here or a 60 something lap race. F1 what does a tow mean? A tow basically just means a slipstream. If you are following another driver within a second or so down a straight, what happens is that they push the air out of the way for you essentially, and your top speed is slightly higher. All right. Yeah, we've got a replay here of Charles Leclerc doing a very similar thing to Yuki Tsunoda. However, he was probably, let's say, 30 centimeters away from the curb compared to where Tsunoda was, and Tsunoda really, mounted that curb quite viciously, and then, essentially unsettled the car, lost a bunch of time. All right. I don't think it may sound like this, but this is Q1. It is indeed. It says just above the red flag sign, it says qualifying 1. And as you can see, there are 20 cars taking part in the session, so it's definitely Q1. Curbs 1, Yuki 0. Indeed, that's exactly what it is. Hi, Service TV. So in this qualifying, it's not Service TV this weekend. So if you use the Austrian VPN thing, it's Service TV one weekend. So it was Service TV for Miami. This weekend it is ORF. So yeah, it's just ORF. It's basically the same thing as Service TV, but just a slightly different website. So ORF. That's O for Oscar, R for race, F for Ferrari. Right, any news on the restart? No, unfortunately, no message from race control. I don't know what they're doing or what's going on, but maybe there's some communication issues between the marshals and the race control. But as of right now, in fact, as speaking of that, we've just got the message. Session restarting in 4 minutes, ladies and gents. 4 minutes. So let me just stick that up on the screen for you guys. QUALI starts in 4 minutes. Or 3 minutes and 20 seconds, even better. Okie dokes, very nice. So here we go then. In 3 minutes time we'll have all of the drivers come out again, probably do another run, given that track temperature is now down to 37 degrees. 37 degrees lower than what it was at the start of Q1, and that's going to help all of the drivers reduce their lap times even further. Also, the other thing is the pole time from last year was a 1:14.1, so we've still got a lot of time left to go for the lap times to drop down. F1 Gamer, do I need Surfshark to watch ORF from Germany? Yes, you do. ORF and Service TV, they are Austrian, strictly Austrian thing, not German. However, it was a crash. It was pretty severe crash, really. But he walked away fine. You know, the FIA do a very, very good job of safety. Maybe not so much with penalties and swearing regulations, but they do a very good job of safety, and you have to give them credit there. And Yuki Tsunoda just walks out of that crash totally unharmed. All right. Here we go then. 2 minutes now. Another huge radio message to Isaac Hadjar. I don't know, we always seem to have this radio message. I have understeer at turn 80 and oversteer at turn 90, except that, I don't know, nobody ever says that, so... Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. I'll be back in just a second to make sure my throat doesn't start hurting. And yeah, session, we've just got it confirmed. Session is resuming in 1 minute and 30 seconds. All of the mechanics stood out in a line in the pit lane, basically just saying, just wait there. We're waiting for one of the drivers to say, we can go out onto the track now. And everyone releasing their cars at the exact same time, all clogging up the pit lane with a nice traffic jam. I mean, you love to see it. Traffic, it can be found anywhere, even in a Formula 1 pit lane. Okie dokes, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. So Yuki Tsunoda has already been eliminated out of Q1. Who are the other 4 drivers going to be? Will it be one of the Hasses? They haven't been delivering all that great performances. They do have an upgrade package. Maybe that'll help them out. Who else hasn't been doing so well? The Kickshaubers, the Astons haven't. Astons do have a big upgrade package, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Aston can do something good. But we shall wait and see. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way. We've got, 12,000 people tuning into qualifying, which is absolutely mega. So I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. I'll be commentating all of the other Grand Prix, all of the other qualifying sessions, all of the other practices. So be sure to tune in. I hope to see you guys for all of the other races. And if you aren't subscribed, be sure to do that as well. It does really help out the channel. And I'd love to hit 200k by the end of the season. But that is enough chit chat, and we have a green flag entering the end of the pit lane. DRS has been enabled, the track has been declared clear, and the timer ticks towards 0, and the drivers will be switching on their engines any second now. On what turn is the speed trap relocated? The speed trap is located at turn number 16. As you can see, that little purple dot there on the screen, right next to turn number 16, that is where the speed trap is. And that is also where the DRS detection point is. So the drivers will be, on tomorrow's race, that's where they'll be trying to get within 1 second of the driver ahead. Is the surf track thing legal in the UK? Yes, it is. So no issues there. All right. Let me get rid of this countdown timer, and as you can see, the quickest drivers in the first sector was Max Verstappen. He was on his flying lap, of course. He was probably going to set a quickest second sector as well, but that got, well, not ruined, but, it got yeah, I'd say ruined by Tsunoda crashing the car. And then the quickest third sector is from Lewis Hamilton, or 25.6. How many times can they try to qualify first? Is it unlimited? They can try and qualify first as many times as they want. However, they only have a limited set of tyres. So ideally, when you qualify right at the front, you do want to do it on a fresh set of tyres, fresh set of soft tyres. And if you don't, for whatever reason, have if you run out of soft tyres, then you won't be able to really qualify at the front. So they probably only have 6-7 attempts to do it over the course of the full 3 quali sessions, and a limited amount of time as well. So limited amount of time, limited amount of tires, and yeah. All right, incident involving Colapinto failing to follow the race director's instructions, entering the fast lane before the resumption time announced. This is the same thing that happened last weekend. The stewards basically came up with this new system, basically saying that estimated time of resumption is whatever time, right? And then they confirm it about 2 minutes later, and Colapinto went out when it said estimated time and not when it was confirmed time. So I don't think it's going to be too harsh of a penalty. It'll just be some fine, right? But just a little bit unfortunate there for Colapinto. All right, so we are going to have all of the other drivers now making their way out onto the circuit. Liam Lawson, I think, is starting a flying lap. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is Surfshark available in Asia? Yes, it is. The link works everywhere, so if you guys are interested, go ahead and check it out. Currently at the top of the times, we've got Alex Albon at 116.1, Fernando Alonso at 116.2. With track temperature at 39 degrees, those times should reduce a little bit further. We got Nico Hulkenberg on a flying lap as well. In fact, I'll take you through an onboard of the circuit, to just show you, what the circuit looks like and where the key parts of the circuit are. So if you crash at the final corner, don't worry. I also crashed at the final corner, no issues there. But I'll take you through. It'll be probably similar to what Lawson is doing right now, to be honest. Okay, Colapinto up into 3rd position. Hulkenberg is up into 6th as well. Very nicely done. So this is the Imola Grand Prix circuit. You've got the final 2 corners here of Ravazzi. You just want to get a very, very good exit, very smooth onto the power as you exit these final couple of corners. Open the DRS flap for the one and only DRS zone down this straight. Reach up to 320 k's. Lawson comes out of the final corner. 5th position for him. Very nicely done. Gasly starts a flying lap. Into the Tamburello chicane you go. And you just want to stay away from these curbs, as you saw from Tsunoda. If you touch those curbs, chances of crashing very, very high. This is where Tsunoda crashed, but thankfully I kept it under control. Did miss that apex though. Now you go towards the hairpin of Tosa, the slowest corner on the circuit. Down into 3rd gear, smoothly onto the power. Up the hill you go towards Piratella. And we have got Hadjar up into third place as well. Great lap there from the Racing Bulls. It looks like the Racing Bulls are quicker than the Red Bulls. I don't know what is going on there. And now towards Aqua Minerale we go, and you got to brake and steer at the same time. It's a very tough corner, but the drivers do manage to deal with it. They have a lot of practice with difficult corners. Now into Variante Alta, braking issues and driving over the curbs is the biggest issues really at that chicane. Then now towards the final two corners of Ravazza, where you're braking around about the 100-meter mark, but there's no brake markers there, so you've got to get your own reference point. And then for the final corner, just up into fourth gear, smoothly onto the power, open the DRS flap, and come across the line for a lap of Imola. Okie doke, so that's a lap done, and we have got Max Verstappen starting a flying lap. He is pushing this car right to the limit, but Pierre Gasly is doing the same as well. First position for Pierre Gasly, brilliant job. That Alpine is fantastic, and Colapinto is only 3/10 back. Given that it is first race in Alpine, that is a mega performance. Stroll on his second flying lap now comes across the line, fourth place for him. Alonso's like, this is why I am the GOAT, and goes up into first position, half a second clear of Lance Stroll and a quarter of a second clear of Pierre Gasly. The upgrades for Aston Martin, it looks like they're cooking, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like they're cooking really hard. Antonelli up into third place. Great lap from the home hero, and he'll have his fans out here supporting him from all directions. We've got George Russell on a flying lap across the line. He comes second place, still cannot top the maestro Fernando Alonso. Yeah, a really good lap. Max Verstappen though, however, he can, and he goes half a second clear of Fernando Alonso. Purple in the first sector, purple in the third sector, and across the line, and that is on a used set of soft tyres as well. He's done it on a used set. Max Verstappen always just so out of nowhere can do some incredible performances. We've got Piastri and Norris. They were on out laps when the red flags were called, so they're going to have one lap of extra tyre wear, but they never actually completed a hot lap on them, so they're not too worn out. Norris across the line, fifth place only for Lando Norris, 8/10 back from Max Verstappen. What is going on here, Lando? You need to pick up the pace, man. Alright, Oscar Piastri currently in 19th position, and yet the last driver yet to set a lap. He comes across the line. What is it going to be for Oscar Piastri? Second place. He's 3/10 back from Max. What a lap from Max Verstappen. 3/10 clear from the McLarens, who finished the last race 37 seconds in the lead. 37 seconds is the advantage that they had at the end of the Miami Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen sticks it 3/10 ahead of them in quali. Incredible. That is a Franz Hermann level performance, I must say. Alonso as well. Where has this pace come from? Well, I know where it's come from. It's come from the huge upgrade package that Aston Martin has brought, and Fernando Alonso, as we know, can deliver whatever the situation, whatever the scenario. Alonso will be there. And well, this qualifying session has just got a whole lot more interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. Lando Norris seems to be out of the fight. He's behind Pierre Gasly, for that matter, who's in 5th position, which is looking really nice. Okay, ladies and gents, we've had 19 drivers set their lap time. Yuki Tsunoda, of course, no longer taking part. Everyone now coming back to the pit lanes. They're going to be refueling. They're going to be filling up their tire, putting on a fresh set of tires, and that is going to be Norris. Norris lost quite a bit of time exiting Tosa, the hairpin. He went a little bit wide on the exit, carried too much speed, and then got a bit of oversteer as well, which lost him a little bit of time, but still nowhere near the gap between him and his teammate. You know, like he lost a bit of time, not 0.4 of a second's worth. So he's still got a lot of time left to go. It's only like Q1, anything can happen. Indeed, anything can happen. So, I'm just saying, Verstappen put a mega lap together, and we've still got the McLarens yet to fight. Oh, we've got a replay here from Charles Leclerc. He had a huge snap of oversteer coming out of Variante Alta. Stroll was wide going through Piratella. Then, yeah, so still a lot of mistakes here. We know it's a very old school circuit. There's not much runoff. Genuinely, so you've got the painted white line, then a metre and a half to the right or the left of the painted white line, you've got a gravel trap, and Formula 1 cars are 2 metres wide, so you genuinely cannot go and exceed track limits without touching the gravel trap, and you know, if you touch the gravel trap, you're already losing enough time. So I think it's a very nice solution to sort of prevent the drivers exceeding track limits just by having gravel 1.5 metres away, and they know the Formula 1 cars are 2 metres wide, so if they do touch the gravel, then if they do want to exceed track limits, they're going to have to touch the gravel. If they touch the gravel, they're losing time. So no penalty required. Okay, so here we go then. 3 minutes left on the clock, and the McLaren drivers aren't coming into the pits. So it looks like the McLaren drivers had a little bit of extra fuel in the car. They had 2 runs worth of fuel, which might explain the lack of performance from them. Piastri, you know, once that extra weight, the weight of the extra lap of fuel has been burnt off, then he might be able to get closer to max. So we will have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, a bit of a different strategy from the McLaren team. Ooh, Antonelli comes over the radio. He's learning fast, by the way. Antonelli comes over the radio, starts complaining about the Sauber, big impeding from the Sauber, impeding from the Sauber, essentially. So Antonelli was driving down the pit lane, and he said, "Oh, this Sauber's blocked me." And I think he was referring to Nico Hülkenberg. So yeah, he's learning well. You know, as soon as he sees something, start right over the radio immediately, snitching, and that's exactly what's happened. Pit lane incident involving car 27 Nico Hülkenberg. Has been noted for an unsafe release. Rules are rules, and unfortunately the Sauber team couldn't follow them. Hülkenberg, though, is starting a flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Okay. So here we go then. 1:45 left on the clock. Verstappen still just sat in the pits. You know he's not going to come out because he's not going to get knocked out of Q1. Alonso makes his way out onto the circuit. He is out on a used set of tyres, though, I think. Oh no, Alonso's out on mediums. Stroll is also out on mediums. Interesting. And there's also 1:30 left on the clock. So it's going to be a bit tight for traffic, I think, as well. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but we shall wait and see. But a lot of flying laps now coming through. Currently, the elimination zone, the 2 Hasses, the 2 Saubers, and then, of course, Yuki Tsunoda, who crashed earlier in the session. So let's wait and see who gets eliminated and who doesn't. Why the Astons on the mediums? Well, they're trying it out, basically. There has been some speculation that with the soft tyres overheating so much. Oh, Norris comes across the line. Only 5th place for him. Bortoletto across the line, 15th. Yeah, there was just some, basically, there was some speculation that the medium tyres might be quicker over a quali lap because you have to worry about overheating. So I think the Aston team are just checking if that is true or not. But track temperature now has dropped to 37 degrees, so maybe overheating not so much of an issue. Oscar Piastri lap time. Oh no, it doesn't matter. He did get a lap time deleted, but that was his out lap from the pit, so it doesn't matter. All right, a lot of flying laps coming through now then. The timer with 20 seconds left on the clock. I don't think Stroll's making it around. Alonso as well. 14 seconds, 13 seconds, might be able to make it across the line. Yellow flag in Sector 4. Oh no, who is that? That is Colapinto. His first weekend in the Alpine car. And what has happened here? Yellow flag is out at turn number 4, the Tamburello chicane. And Stroll across the line, 4th place for him. Alonso, Stroll improves actually. Red flag is out, a huge crash for Colapinto, and I think that's the end of the session. Yeah, that's the end of the session. Timer has gone down to 0 seconds. Colapinto has crashed, and I'm not that surprised purely because he hasn't driven this Alpine car before, and it was never going to be a good idea to replace him mid-season. With about 1 week's notice, but he's crashed on the exit of the Tamburello chicane. We'll get a replay soon enough, but I'll just show you exactly sort of where he's crashed. His front right suspension's gone, his front left suspension's gone, but the rear of the car looks relatively undamaged. Isaac, thank you for the $5 donation. This quali is different. Indeed, it is. Imola quali, it is the most important, probably the most important session of the weekend. So it's different and it's very, very good so far. All right, so I shall show you exactly where he crashed. He exits the Tamburello chicane. Let's see. All right, so he's going through. Gets towards the Tamburello chicane, left, then right, and then, yeah, so straight on, essentially. If this car is not turning to left, if it just goes straight on, that is where Colapinto has crashed the car. And I suspect it's once again a very similar issue to what Yuki Tsunoda had, where he just touched the curb too harshly. Too much curb was taken, the car was unsettled, it snapped out from underneath him and into the barrier as he went. That's what it seemed like. So yeah, we haven't got the replay just yet, but by the looks of it, that's what's happened to Lance Stroll. He touched the grass and spun. Fair enough. Not Lance Stroll, Colapinto. Sorry. Here's the replay of him then. Okay. Oh, Hulkenberg has. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we got a replay. Colapinto hits that first apex nicely, second apex nicely. Ooh. Okay. So just let's go back like 2 seconds on the replay. Okay. So he goes towards the chicane here and hits this first apex nicely, second apex nicely, and now at this point here, he's a little bit further to the left and touches the grass on the left-hand side of the road, the left-hand side here, just before he turns in, and he's already got dirt on his tire, and then turns into the following corner and just spins out of it basically. So too much speed, not enough grip, and away he spins into the barrier. Very unfortunate there for Franco Colapinto, but that is a lap of Imola and very unforgiving. Not enough. There's no sort of margin for error. Well, on these old school circuits, you've got the painted white line, you've got a little bit of curb, and then you've got grass. And either you deal with it or you crash out. The start of Q2 will be delayed, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll get an update on for when that's starting. But the end of Q1 has happened. The drivers eliminated are Lawson, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Behrman. Bortoletto just makes it through, and Hulkenberg, who initially had made it through, I think, did he or did he not? I don't know. But he did get a lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn number 17, which is the penultimate corner. Okay. So, yeah, essentially, Colapinto is actually going to be starting this race in 15th position, in 15th position. So, he has crashed, of course, but still made it through into Q2, admittedly by just blocking everyone else behind him, by causing the red flag. No one else could finish their quali laps, and that was the end of the session for them. Yeah, both Hasses out of Q1, which is very unfortunate. And yeah, Nico Hulkenberg, we've got the replay of him exceeding track limits. It was pretty clear cut. He just carried too much speed into the penultimate corner and ended up going all over the gravel, which lost him a huge amount of time. The first crash gate. Well, sure, why not? No, I'm not accusing anyone of rigging the qualifying session, just to be totally clear. Okay, and looking at the top speeds here, Oscar Piastri slowest through the speed traps, 296 through the speed traps. The quickest is 303, which was Colapinto, and then we have Behrman in 301. So Colapinto, a pretty low downforce setup, and clearly, not enough grip when he needed it. Why is Behrman's deleted? Behrman did not get a lap time deleted. Behrman didn't get to finish his lap, and his lap was just too slow as well. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gents. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do so. We are what now? 325 subscribers, 227 subscribers away, so not too far from hitting 158k, which is very nice indeed. Okie dokes, the driver's getting back into the car, and I suspect Q2 will be starting pretty soon now. We've got Hamilton getting back into the car with his helmet and all of the hands devices and extra safety equipment. So not long now, I suspect, till the start of Q2. What is that purple dot at Ravazza? The purple dot is where the speed trap is being measured, and it's also where the DRS detection point is. So that's where the drivers will be checking well, that's where the system will be checking whether the drivers are within 1 second of the driver ahead or not. And then if they are within 1 second, then they will get DRS. Ooh, off into the distance, we see a big, dark, stormy rain cloud. And it looks like it's raining off in the distance. It's not raining near Imola. However, the weather warning did say moderate thunderstorms or something. But that is still quite far away, and even if we do wait like 2 hours for whatever delays, it's still not heading towards the circuit. It's heading in the wrong direction, so not much to worry about there. Any chance of rain tomorrow? I checked the weather forecast. It said 10%, so seems pretty unlikely. Yeah. Behrman did get his lap time deleted. Well, I'll have a look at the thing, but I've got the messages from race control, and the messages from race control don't have Behrman with a lap time deleted, so I don't know. Maybe there's just miscommunication. Yeah, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso in third and fourth, and they also did it on mediums. I mean, Alonso didn't, but Stroll did. Stroll improved his lap time on medium tyres, which I can't tell if that was, Stroll just driving quicker, not making a mistake, or if the medium tyres are actually quicker. I'm sure the other teams will find out, but yeah. All right, Q1 incident involving Leclerc and Piastri failing to follow race director's instructions, maximum delta time. Okay, so yeah, nothing of that's that's not gonna matter. Okay, Q2 should be getting underway pretty soon now, ladies and gents. Apologies for the delay. Yeah, not much I can really do. Yeah, I think this is this confirmed that Max is going to Aston Martin? Who knows? We shall just have to wait and see. I don't think it'll be Max going to Aston Martin. I think it'll be Franz Hermann, really. Yeah. F1 Gamer, can we get a timer to Q2? I mean, I'd love to give you a timer to Q2, except the race control or FIA haven't actually released it. Oh, okay. No, I'm getting a replay here of Behrman, and it's just showing him coming across the line. I'm not sure exactly if the red flag had come out. Oh, it's something along. I don't know. Yeah, something didn't happen. Oh, we've got a message when Q2 is going to start. It's going to start in 5 minutes time. Okay. So let me just increase that timer. Okay, there we go. So QUALI is starting soon. Q2 is starting soon. But yeah, I'm just going to call it QUALI because why not? Oh, I don't think Behrman got to start his flying lap or something along those lines. That's what happened. Some sort of issue there. He missed it a little bit. Okie dokes. Let me know what your predictions are then for Q2. Who do you think will be getting eliminated? It's pretty tough, really. A lot of these drivers are good competition. They've got good upgrades. So who knows who it will be. Alright, I've just had a quick sip of water, and here we are now. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go till the start of Q2. And it's going to be pretty tough, really, to figure out who's going to get eliminated. I think anyone that really makes a bad mistake, but has a bad lap, they could easily get eliminated. We've seen the mistakes start to creep in. During the FP sessions, we didn't see that many mistakes. However, as soon as qualifying rolls around, we see drivers exceeding track limits, we see drivers missing their braking points, going over the curbs too harshly. Everything kicks off, really. So we shall just have to wait and see who makes that one mistake, who's going to crack first, and who's going to pay the price. Okie dokes. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Also, folks, if you do have any questions in the chat, then be sure to let me know. Just do at F1 Gamer, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Yeah, all right. So here we go then. Hey, thanks for streaming. Your top left table with the last three columns. The last three columns essentially are their mini sectors. So you have sector 1, 2, and 3, but within those sectors there are even smaller parts of the track, and you can sort of tell. Like you see Leclerc, he has got two purple like rectangles essentially. That means that he probably got a toe down the main straight, and that gave him like those purple mini sectors. So it's basically just what a sector is, just a smaller version of it, and it gives you a little bit more precise information. Oh, Leclerc, if you can see a couple of purple mini sectors at the start of his lap, then he probably got a toe that helped him out. So yeah, just that little bit of extra piece of information. At F1 Gamer Bro, can you tell us all the sectors? Yeah, all of the sectors are just sector 1, 2, and 3. I don't know exactly what you mean. Can Ferrari win in Monaco? Well, Ferrari winning in Monaco, as many of you may know, it is mandatory two-stop from this season. So there's going to be a lot of strategy involved, a lot of messing around of who's going to be blocking who's going to be slowing each other down, and things like that. So, are Ferrari good at strategy? The answer's sort of self-explanatory, isn't it? It's going to require a good strategy if you want to win in Monaco. Firstly, you're going to need a good pole lap, which anyone can really pull out because Monaco is not so driver dependent. It's not so car dependent. Sorry, it's a lot more driver dependent, and we'll wait and see. But Monaco, of course, is next weekend. What does the blue mean in the mini sectors? The blue means the drivers are coming in or out of the pit lane. So, you'll see once the drivers are coming out of the pits, it'll show blue for a little bit. And then once the drivers are coming back into the pits, it'll also show a little bit of blue. You can explain what a toe is? Toe is essentially sort of a... Well, if you imagine you're driving along at 200 miles per hour in a car, if you're driving along in a car at any sort of speed and it's really quick, if you stick your hand out of the window, you see, you feel all of that air basically just pushing on your hand. Oh, Mattia, thank you for the donation. I'm listening to this while waiting on a bus to go to another city. Well, hope you have a nice journey, and thank you for the donation. Very much to appreciate it. So a toe, if you imagine you're in a car and you stick your hand out the window, you can feel this huge amount of air sort of pushing your hand back, and that air is air resistance or drag, whatever you want to call it, and that slows your top speed down. Now, if you're following another car, if there's a car ahead of you and then you're behind them, then that effect of air resistance is a lot smaller because the car ahead of you is the car that is sort of pushing all of the air out of the way. Yeah. Oh, the qualifying time's gone to 0, so the session should be restarting any second now. Let me just get rid of this timer, and that's essentially what a toe is. It's just reducing that force on your hand, of all of the air pushing backwards. A very similar thing to the car. It's just less force pushing the car backwards, so you get more top speed. F1 Gamer, who do you have for World Driver Championship this season? Oh, I mean, surely it's between Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen. I'm going to go with Piastri purely just because he's leading the championship at this stage, and I think he's a little bit more calm and collected compared to Lando Norris. The gap between Verstappen and Yuki, yeah, it's not ideal if Verstappen qualifies in first and Yuki is in dead last. Okay. What's the difference between slipstream and dirty air? Essentially, for the so slipstream is that little, the reduction in drag when you're going through, when you're going down the straights. But then the dirty air is if you imagine sort of swimming, the difference between swimming in a swimming pool and the difference between swimming in the ocean. Swimming in a swimming pool is nice and easy, right? Like there's no other water moving you around, no waves pushing you around left, right, and center. Whereas dirty air is like swimming in a swimming pool, swimming in the ocean, sorry. And you've got these waves just coming from all directions, messing you up, pushing you, messing up your swimming technique, pushing you all left, right, and center. And essentially, that's what dirty air is. So when you're going through the corners, you don't want that. You don't want the slosh of water pushing you left and right. I realize I'm explaining this quite badly, but I think you kind of get the message. Like dirty air is basically just slowing you down through the corners, and slipstream is speeding you up down the straights. Vincent Chen, thank you for the donation. Thanks for the play-by-play analysis. Right now outside the testing centre, waiting for my wife outside. She's taking her CFA exam. Well, good luck to your wife. The CFA exam, I think, is pretty hard. What's that? Corporate finance something, I think. But yeah. Best of luck, I guess, to your wife, and thank you for the donation, buddy. Really is appreciated. All right, I don't know why Q2 hasn't begun. The lap time of car. Oh, they've delayed it again. Oh, what are they doing, man? The start of Q2 will be delayed. They're reviewing Oliver Behrman's lap. That's what's happening. So they're currently looking at whether Behrman crossed the line when the checkered flag was out, or before or after the checkered flag was out, and then they're going to either put him through into Q2 or not. I think that's what's going to happen, but they delayed it. Yeah, they're reviewing that. So Behrman's still just sat in the car waiting. We will have to wait and see. So here we go. Yeah, just delay after delay, really. Delay after delay. His final lap was a 9.63. Honestly, his final lap didn't come through on my screen, so it's not even showing me what his final lap was, because it normally says whichever driver crossed the line first. Everyone Gamer, someone has a great question. Are you rocking the new laptop? Yep. Oh, I am. Maybe you've noticed a slight difference in my mic, but yeah, I'm rocking a new laptop, and it's working pretty nicely. So hopefully no more lag. And yeah, all is well, really. It took a while to transfer everything over, but everything's going well. Dirty air disrupts the airflow of the car. Think of it like an airplane experiencing turbulence. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably a better way to describe it. Dirty air is like turbulence in an airplane, and it's not good for grip. And it's also sort of essentially slipstream will reduce the air passing over the car, which when you're going down the straight is a good thing, because you want to reduce your top speed. You want to increase your top speed, but when you're going through a corner, you want as much air as physically possible going over the car to maximize your downforce. So it's the exact same thing. It's just in one situation it's beneficial to you, in another situation it's not so beneficial. Yeah, using that water in a what's it, ocean swimming pool. Yeah, that analogy was probably not the best way about going about it. Anyway. Why is Q2 not starting? They're still under investigation. Still investigating when the checkered flag came out and whether Oliver Behrman were crossed the checkered flag before or after. I don't know why it's taken so long. But this is what we're waiting for, ladies and gents. We're waiting for the stewards and the stewards take so long to do anything. Like it's sometimes mind blowing. Like there'll be a qualifying session, there'll be the sprint race, right? And then it takes them like 3-4 hours to decide all the penalties of the sprint race, and then announce it afterwards. And they announce it by the start of the next day or something. Like it's just so annoying. And they're taking their merry time, and that's what's delayed our session for us. So I do apologise for the delay, but, you know, I can't do much about it. Behrman crossed the line under the yellow flag, so I don't think his lap will count. Well, the stewards are still reviewing it. Okay, they've said that the session's restarting in another 5 minutes. Now, please don't delay the session again, stewards. Let me put the timer up on the screen again, folks. Here we go. All right. It looks like Behrman is not making it through. Otherwise, they would have had to redact some lap time and then reinstate a lap time or something. So I don't think Behrman will be taking part in Q2. Bro, you got a new laptop. Which laptop did you get? I got a Asus VivoBook Pro 15. That's the sticker that it says on the laptop. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one that I got. But I did get it refurbished, so like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just start it. Essentially, just start it. But and then there's a safety car with a medical car on track as well, which also wasn't ideal. For once, I timed my break at work with the food delivery exactly with QUALI, just to watch the stewards delay it. Exactly. I don't know. The stewards are classic stewards, really. They track temperature's up again. So track temperature now has gone up, which means that the medium tires are going to be pretty beneficial. So we did see Stroll improve his final run in Q1. He improved on the medium tire and got close to Alonso's lap time. So maybe we'll see some drivers come out on the mediums. The thing is, they just don't have that many sets of mediums. At max, they probably have 2 or 3 sets, and that's not enough to do a full quali session on. So maybe they'll go out on the softs and then decide later whether they want to do the mediums or not. Yeah. How did Yuki crash? Yuki crashed at the Tamburello chicane. Oh, sorry, not the Villeneuve chicane. Just took way too much curb. So at turn number 5, and then spun the car around. By the time he got to turn 6, damaged all parts of the car. Into the barrier went, flipped over, and then walked out of the crash incident, the crash scene, just fine. Yeah, just a big crash, too much curb. Same thing for Colapinto. Not actually too much curb. He just too much speed through the corner and then ended up touching the grass for him. You're not on a desktop, you're on a laptop? Yeah, I mean, I do have to sort of travel quite a bit, so that's why it's on a laptop. F1 Gamer, check your subs and your likes. Oh yeah, we've hit 2,000 likes. Thank you everyone for tuning in and sort of listening to the F1 Gamer podcast rather than what's actually going on in qualifying. But very much is appreciated. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button. Thank you everyone for subscribing. We're getting pretty close to our subscriber target as well. So here we go then. 2 minutes now till we actually get underway for Q2. Yeah, it's been how long has it been actually? This is the Q1 session has taken an hour, ladies and gents. Q1 has taken 1 full hour. Incredible. You can always count on the stewards to make some world record, because this is probably the longest Q1 session in history. And the stewards have it's all thanks to also thanks to the crashes as well, but we can also blame the stewards. I don't actually know what the record is for the longest qualifying. I think the longest Q1 session we've just experienced, an hour-long Q1. Why is Bortoleto out? Bortoleto's just lining up at the end of the pit lane. He's just waiting, ready to go. He wants to get out as soon as possible for Q2. Okay. And yeah, the thing is, he also is cooling down his tyres at this point, so it looks like he's out on the softs, which means that he wants to have as low tyre temperature as possible, and to do that, he's just going to have to sit at the end of the pit lane, let those tyres cool down, and then he will have some cold tyres for his quali run. What happened to Yuki? Big crash at turn 5. Yeah. What do you think about Stroll right now? Not so bad, really. I mean, he's scored more points than Alonso so far. Alonso probably hasn't had the best luck all season, but nonetheless, Stroll is not doing half bad, and you gotta give him credit where credit is due. So yeah, I will still make jokes about him. If he does something stupid like drive into a gravel trap on the formation lap, like, you can guarantee that I'm gonna say that he's an idiot. But in terms of his race performances this season, they've not been half bad. All right, 12 seconds left on the clock now. Finally, we'll be getting underway for some qualifying. And DRS has been enabled. The track has been declared clear. The green flag is waving everywhere. Now we're just waiting for the green light at the end of the pit lane. Let me turn this, let me get rid of this countdown timer. And then we'll once again get the fastest sectors up on the screen. Fantastic. Do you think both Ferraris will make it through into Q3? I think so actually. 2 hours 41 minutes is the 2009 Grand Prix is the longest. Okay, well, maybe we'll break that record. Maybe we will break that record. We are currently 1 hour into qualifying, so we've still got two sessions left. Let's wait and see what happens. At F1 Gamer, where can I watch F1 TV? You can watch F1 via Surfshark VPN. Let me just stick it up the instructions. You buy Surfshark VPN. There's a link in the description. There's a link in the chat. Then what you do is you join an Austrian VPN server. You Google ORF, O for Oscar, R for race, F for Ferrari. You make an account, you log in, and you get to watch Formula 1 coverage. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. It's only $2 a month, saves you a whole bunch of money. But of course, the commentary is in German. So if you don't want to listen to German commentary, then you mute that commentary and you listen to mine instead. It's quite easy to sync up. We've got about 100 people on the channel that do exactly just that. So if you are interested, be my guest. It helps out the channel as well. I'm sponsored by Surfshark. All right. Oh, we've got just a donation here. Thanks for the donation. Let me just scroll up and read the message. Brazil 2016, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, well that's the record then. We'll wait and see. I think it must have been raining Brazil 2016 if I remember correctly. But thanks for the donation, Issam. Very much is appreciated. The €6 donation. Okay, we have got Bortoleto, Alonso, Stroll, all of the drivers now making their way out onto the circuit. Bortoleto, though, starting his flying lap. Looking good so far. Who do you predict the drivers for the Cadillac team? It looks like I'm going to be predicting Colton Herta or Pato O'Ward. And then the other driver being Sergio Perez or Valtteri Bottas. Those are my two combinations. I think they will have one American driver. I think Pato O'Ward is American. I'm not sure. But I think they'll have one American driver and then one other driver that's previously raced in Formula 1 for a long time and has a lot of experience. Everyone is out on the soft tyres, everyone is out on the C6 tyres, track temperature is 40 degrees, so maybe the medium tyres will help out, but they just don't have enough mediums to be trying that out right now. So we'll wait and see what they do later on in quali. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and we have got Bortoleto on his flying lap. Verstappen also starts a flying lap. Let's wait and see what he can do. He's on those soft tyres, pushing the car to the limit. The car is looking really good in his hands, pointing exactly where he wants it to. This is the thing that from Max Verstappen. He wants the car to turn exactly where and when he wants it to, and the car is doing exactly that. Then one of the McLarens gets out of the way as traffic, and here comes Max Verstappen now through Acqua Minerale. It's a tough corner, but Verstappen hasn't made a single mistake there all weekend long, really. Purple first sector, a 24.0, but that's still 4/10 off his previous best first sector. And Leclerc goes slightly quicker than Verstappen in the first sector. But as you can see here in the fastest sectors, sort of bit of the screen, just below the track map, Verstappen's fastest first sector from Q1 was a 23.6. So there's still time left on the leaderboard, nearly 4/10 left on the lead on the timing sheets, really. So we shall wait and see what happens there. But it's a 1:15.4. Last year we were in the 1:14.1 or 1:14.5, I think. So we've still got lap times still yet to reduce. Let's see, though, what can Leclerc do? He's coming out of Ravazza now. Alonso across the line, second place for him. He's 6/10 back from Verstappen. And Russell purple in the first sector. Leclerc across the line, second place for him. He's 2/10 back from Max Verstappen. Very nicely done. Here comes Lewis Hamilton now. What can he do? And he goes up into third place. He goes a 10th back from his team at 10th and a half back. And now we've got Isaac Hadjar on a flying lap. Bortoleto's finished his lap. Piastri also is starting a flying lap. Hadjar across the line, fourth place for him. He's slips ahead of Fernando Alonso and splits the Ferrari and Aston Martin second and third row. Okay. Russell, though, is looking really, really good here. Antonelli not as quick. In fact, 4/10 slower just in the first sector alone. Antonelli across the line, 6th place for him. He's got a lot of improvement left to go in the first sector. It's quite difficult, really, because the Tamburello chicane, it's like if you get the first corner right, then you can really gain a whole lot of time in the second and third. But if you even make this tiniest bit of mistakes, then you compromise your entry into 3 and you into 4, and you end up losing a huge chunk of time. I think that must have been what happened for Antonelli. Norris across the line, he goes clear of Verstappen by 1/10 of a second. So they're both on fresh sets of tyres, and he still manages to do that. But Russell came across the line. That was 3rd place for him. Well, initially it was 2nd before Norris went into 1st position. But regardless, Russell is a 10th back, 10th and a half back from Max Verstappen. We've got the top 3 being Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc. Piastri on a flying lap, purple in the middle sector, and he is looking extremely racy. Let's see what he can do against Lando Norris. But what I'm noticing here is a lot of drivers are going slower in the first sector. They're sort of compromising their first sector in order to have performance left over on the table in the final sector. And Oscar Piastri just pips his teammate by 20 thousandths of a second. This is so close for those drivers. All right, so we've just got now flying laps left to complete from Sainz and Albon, and I think Gasly as well. Colapinto, of course, not taking part after crashing. Sainz, though, came across the line, and that was 9th place for him. Albon is... Oh, Albon's actually... Oh, no, Albon's already done his lap as well. So everyone now just making their way back towards the pits, I think. Yeah. The top 6 within half a second. Yeah, it's nice and tight, really. And we'll have to wait and see how that works out. Albon, we've got a replay here of him. Oh my god, a huge snap. Like you could have put that drift in the Tokyo Drift movie, and everyone would have been like, yeah, they're perfect shot. Huge snap of oversteer as he exits Ravazza. Sorry, not as he exits Variante Alta, and yeah, huge loss of lap time. So that explains why he is around 3/10 back from his teammate. He probably did lose 3/10 there because there's a big run down the hill towards turn number 17 after that corner. All right. So here we go then. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Very nicely done. Why there are 2 cars out? Because all of the other cars everyone needs to come in to refuel. That's why. That's why no one's out on the track. Okay. Yeah, not too much going on really. Everyone just sat in the pits refueling. Do a lap. Actually, that's a fantastic idea. So here we go then. We'll go with an onboard of the Imola circuit. So this is what you don't want to be doing. As you exit the final corner, you don't want to be spinning on that curb and going into the barriers. And the main thing now is you get a good exit out of the final corner. So you start your flying lap. Here I am in the 2021 Red Bull driving around Imola. I'm a time trial merchant, as they would say in the Formula One game community. And you stay in 4th gear, get a good exit out of the final corner, right up to the white line on the exit, and open that DRS flap. 320 k's as you go down the straights here, 200 miles per hour for anyone that uses Imperial units. and just minimize the distance, brake at the 70-meter mark, and hit this first apex. Now, see, this is a very good run that I got. You hit that first apex, and you can just go flat through 2 and 3. Even if you make the tiniest mistake hitting the first apex, you won't be able to go flat, and that's your first sector ruined. This, I made a mistake, missed that second apex because I couldn't shift the weight of the car quickly enough. You want to get a smooth exit out of Toaster here and not lose too much time in terms of traction. And then you now head towards the Piratella, where you have got you just go down the hill. Now at Emilia-Romagna, braking and turning at the same time. Stay within track limits. There's gravel on the left-hand side. There used to be curbs. Now there's gravel, so very, very careful. This is where Alex Albon had a big drift. He hit this second curb, and then the car just snapped out from underneath him. And it's pretty tricky, that one. And then you go towards Ravazza, where you've got the speed trap. That's a little purple dot up on the screen, and also the DRS detection point. You get a good exit out of the final corner, up into the 5th, 6th gear, open the DRS flap, minimize the distance to the line, and that is a lap of Imola, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have the drivers coming out onto the circuit very, very shortly now. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. That lap was a smooth operation. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I wouldn't call it the best lap. I think, though, I am top 3% on the time trial in Imola, so not too bad, really. iPhone Gamer, can you do the run live, like not pre-recorded? It's more fun that way. Honestly, you wouldn't want to see me try and do it live, especially because I don't have my steering wheel with me right now. I just have my controller, which means that my driving would be absolutely terrible. On my steering wheel, I'm much better, but even then, I'm not the most consistent driver, so it would just result in me spinning more than I actually driving. But it is an idea which I will try and see if I can do, but I don't really know how to connect an Xbox up to OBS and everything, so normally I just record it on Xbox and then transfer it over later. And if I'm getting what are your opinions about the new layout for the Madrid Grand Prix? Well, this is the thing. It's a race in Madrid, but it's not even in central Madrid. You know, it's sort of on the outskirts of Madrid. It would have been much, much cooler if it was in central Madrid. And the racing circuit, if I'm being totally honest with you, it's probably not the best. Yeah, there are much better circuits to go to, like Barcelona, which are not too far away from Madrid. So who knows? Okay, I forget I checked the results from last year's Imola time. The fastest lap was a 1:15.7. Yeah, I think that was the fastest lap for the race, a 1:15.7. But I think for quali, it was a 1:14.1 or a 1:14.5. F1 Game offer the race live for members on Discord. Get more members. Oh yeah, maybe. Do you mean sort of like just streaming the race like via Surfshark or whatever onto Discord, or yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean, but yeah, top 3 unused softs, indeed they are. They know that they're not going to have much issues getting into Q3, so there's no issues there. However, Stroll, once again, he's out on a set of soft tyres here, ladies and gents. He's out on a set of softs, and he's going to try and get through into Q3. And Alonso as well. He's out on soft tyres. So clearly, they think that they're out on the mediums, and they think the medium tyres are going to work better than the softs. So let's wait and see. Maybe it will. With track temperature up at 39 degrees, it's definitely possible. But we shall wait to see. Does Alonso have the upgrades? Indeed, he does. So yeah, what happens is what they did yesterday on Friday, they gave Stroll the upgrades, gave Alonso the non-upgraded car, and they sort of compared the data. They compared like, where do they have more downforce, where are they quicker, and it looks like the upgrades are fantastic. They work everywhere. So then for today, they gave Alonso the upgrades as well. And yeah, looks good. Okay, Russell Purple in the first sector, looking good. That gets quickly taken away by Max Verstappen. He's like, don't worry about it here, George. I'll take it from here. And Verstappen now going towards Piratella. Lando Norris should get out of the way, otherwise Verstappen will be complaining about traffic very, very quickly over the radio. And Sainz, in fact, Sainz is like, no thanks, Max. I'll set the fastest first sector, thank you very much. And looking really good here from Carlos Sainz. He's, of course, on a fresh set of soft, so you'd have to take that into account. Verstappen is on a used set. Regardless, we see around a 3/10 drop in pace on used soft tyres. So there's still pace left in the tank for Max Verstappen. Why is Colapinto not saying a lap? Colapinto has crashed. He crashed at the end of Q1. So he made it through into Q2, but then crashed, and that's why he can't take part, because his car isn't repaired. Sainz gets a little bit of a snap of oversteer as he comes out of Aqua Minerale, but doesn't lose too much time. We've got Verstappen across the line. He improves, but still not enough to get ahead of George Russell. The thing is, he's on used tyres. You normally lose 0.3 of a second on used tyres, so if it was fresh, theoretically, Verstappen would be up in first position, even ahead of Carlos Sainz. But what a lap from Carlos Sainz. Wow, take a bow, Carlos. That is a smooth operation from you. Let's see what your teammate can do. Alex Albon, only 7th place for him, 0.3 back. But Carlos Sainz, fantastic. We could even see a potential podium here. Someone asked earlier, will Williams get a podium? And I was like, I don't think so. It's looking unlikely. But if Carlos Sainz can pull out laps like this and it's Q2, then who knows what happens in Q3, ladies and gents. The timer has gone to 0. We've got the final drivers now doing their Q3 runs. The Ferraris are in 8th and 9th position. They are at risk of getting eliminated. Pierre Gasly, purple in the final sector. Across the line he comes. It's 6th place for him. We have got Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso left to do their laps, and here comes Stroll, 6th position for him. Let's see what Fernando can do. Surely it's going to be quicker. And Anthony dives into the pit lane, and that is it. Alonso across the line, 6th place for him. He goes slightly quicker than Stroll, 0.5 quicker. That is the end of Q2, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody else is doing any more laps. Who's been eliminated? Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton also eliminated, and Kimi Antonelli. All 3 drivers or teams that have home races eliminated out of Q2. So unfortunate. Amazing performance from Gasly and from Hadjar and from Alonso and Stroll as well. Their upgrades are incredible. And might I point out, Adrian Newey hasn't even worked on these upgrades as well. Adrian Newey is just working on the 2026 car, and if he's not working on these upgrades, Aston Martin have cooked really hard, and Ferrari seems like their upgrades are more like downgrades, and they're down in 11th and 12th position. Oh my goodness me. And they're on the medium tyres. Well, maybe the medium tyres is the correct strategy. Maybe we'll see at the end of, Q3, Verstappen does his final run on a set of mediums. Let's wait and see, ladies and gents. Let's wait and see. But that has been Q2. And Charles Leclerc just looks dead inside, really. There's no other way to describe it. He just looks dead inside. He's got out of the car, and he just walks to the back of the garage, and he shakes his head. Nothing more, really. There's nothing else to describe it. But Carlos Sainz is in first position at the end of Q2, which is simply mega. All right. You missed the point. Ferrari sent out both drivers twice and did not set a lap. Both times were discontinued. Why? They did set laps. They're 15.6s for 15.6 and 15.7s, and they were on fresh sets of softs as well. So, they definitely did set their laps, and they just weren't quick enough. Very, very unfortunate. We've got 21,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. We're getting pretty close to our subscriber target for today. We've got a message from Race Control Session. Q3 is restarting in 5 minutes time. So let me just stick that up on the timer here, ladies and gents. And we shall be underway very, very soon for Q3. But yeah, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. If you guys do want to watch the Formula 1 coverage for $2 a month, you can use Surfshark VPN. There's a link in the description. There's also a link in the chat where you can, get Surfshark VPN. Then you just download it onto your computer, your phone. You join an Austrian VPN server. You search ORF, and you enjoy Formula 1 coverage, really. So that's how you do it. We've got around 100 people on the channel right now using ORF, and it works fantastically. The commentary is German, so if you're German, it's perfect. If not, you can mute it and listen to me instead. Okay, so I'll that's enough of the Surfshark stuff. We got 4 minutes left on the timer before Q3 is underway. Ladies and gentlemen, who is going to be getting pole position? Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Is it going to be one of the McLaren drivers? Is it going to be Carlos Sainz? Or is it going to be Fernando Alonso on a set of medium tyres? Who knows? Who knows? It's all up in the air. George Russell could put out a lap as well. He's there in 4th position, only a 10th and a half back. It could be him. Okay, is Colapinto P15 or P20? He's P15, so he set a lap that got him through into Q2 and then crashed the car, so he's going to be in P15. Tsunoda is going to be in P20. Yeah. At F1 Gamer, what are the points difference between Sainz and Albon at the season end? Well, I actually did a poll for this. I did a poll for this about 2 weeks ago, and there were 10,000 people that replied to the poll, and it was 51%, 49% between Carlos Sainz scoring more points and Alex Albon. I don't know who was 51 and who was 49, but essentially, it seemed very, very close, but Carlos Sainz has been getting mega performances, and we did see even in Miami, in the race before Miami as well, the Williams drivers have been working together. I think Sainz normally is the lead driver, Alex Albon in second place, and then playing the DRS game, keeping each other within each other's DRS, and defending against any of the threat behind them. So I think Sainz is slightly quicker than Albon, at least at this current stage in the season. But maybe this is a one-off, they signed this much quicker. I think it is a one-off compared to previous qualies and stuff. So if I had to bet on anyone, I would probably go with Sainz. But yeah, that's purely just Sainz's more experience. He's also driven for Ferrari, and he's jumped into a new car, new team, and has hit the ground running pretty fantastically. Ferrari in F1, the clown emoji, probably the best way to describe Ferrari. All right, track temperature down to 38 degrees, air temperature 23 degrees. Wind is picked up a little bit, 9.4 kilometers an hour, but it's not too gusty, so it should be fine for the drivers to deal with. Sainz got revenge on Ferrari. Yeah, Sainz has been out qualifying both Ferrari cars for like the last 3 races in a row. The first time it happened, people made a stat of it. The second time it happened, people also made a stat of it. And now it's just like, oh, it's to be expected. Carlos Sainz, he's gone to Williams. He's beating the Ferrari team. Yeah. What do you think about Carlos Sainz Sr. going for FIA presidency? Do you think it's a conflict of interest? Oh, it's definitely a conflict of interest. Sure, anyone would be better than MBS, but the conflict of interest is also quite major, and that does have to be taken into account. Like, you can't just say, oh, he's better than MBS, so we should have him. There will be other racing drivers, Seb Vettel could do it. Yeah. Okay. So here we go then. F1 Gamer, who thought Ferrari to Williams would be an upgrade? Exactly. Nobody thought that. Williams for the podium, please. Honestly, Williams scored their tied best performance in 7 years. In the past 7 years, they haven't scored a 5th position apart from last weekend out in Miami and the first race of this season in Australia. Those are the only 2 times in the previous 7 years that Williams have scored 5th position or higher, which is incredible, really. And they're back in business. Williams are back in business, and you love to see it, really. James Vowles is leading that team from the front, doing a fantastic job, and I think 2026 is Williams' year. Williams in 2026. That's my bet. Aston Martin are like the Mercedes W11. They both used to get 1-2 on qualifying on medium tyres. Yeah, kind of like that, isn't it? All right, so timer has started ticking down, and as you can see there on the bottom left, the time is ticking, but nobody has made their way out onto circuit. They're all waiting. They're all playing the waiting game. Maybe they're only going to do 1 run. Maybe they're going to do 2. We'll wait and see. We've got 18,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Here we go then. Yo, Carlos got 4-wheel air on one of those curbs and still got first. Exactly. Sometimes the fastest way is to just not be touching the ground. Technically, he didn't exceed track limits. He had all 4 wheels off the circuit, but they weren't past the white line. So technically, he was fine. But yeah, he was really pushing that car to the limit. And that's what I'm saying. The line over some of these curbs that you have to take to be quick is obscene. Like, it's so difficult to get right and so difficult to get perfect. But Carlos Sainz has done it. Also, folks, I am going to be making merch. So, I'm going to have a Carlos Sainz Smooth Operator shirt and a Charles Leclerc, let's add that to the Worlds of Wisdom shirt and stuff like that. But let me know, guys, what do you think about what sort of price I think I should put it at, really. If you could put it in whichever currency that you're also that you're talking about, then that'd be ideal. I'm just sort of trying to figure out, ideally, what price to put that t-shirt at, and hoodies as well, because I'm not really sure. So do let me know, and yeah, I'll try and figure it out. Of course, let's be reasonable here. $1 or one penny or whatever isn't gonna work. But yeah, we'll see. Okie dokes. But we've got the drivers out on the circuit. I'll read these. I'll download these chat messages later once the stream is finished, and I'll pick the prices out properly. We need an Okie Dokie shirt. Oh yeah, there's definitely got to be an Okie Dokie shirt, surely. Yeah, we will. I'll have a look at all of the current designs. I'll also show you a design once qualifying's finished. Or you can get a little jump scare of the design if I can find it now. Not a jump scare, but well, it's going to actually appear quite big up on the screen because the design's like a bunch of pixels. Where have I saved it? I've got a George Russell T-Pose t-shirt. Let me right, I'll make it the correct size and then you guys can actually have a look. But yeah, it's a nice little T-Pose t-shirt that I think is quite cool to go on the back of a white shirt. But yeah, do let me know. Okay. Anyway, we've got 9 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. All of the drivers coming out to do their qualifying lap. So this will be the final little bit of irrelevant commentary, and then we'll all focus on the actual session itself. But yeah, this is the sort of design that I'm going for. Like, I could just put it here since these drivers aren't even. But yeah, let me know. Like, I think that's a kind of cool design that on the back of a white t-shirt would look cool. But do let me know. All right. 8 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, and we shall wait and see. George Russell thinks he's Jesus. Yeah, that's a pretty good caption for that shirt. Anyway, focusing now on qualifying, we have got a purple first sector here from Oscar Piastri. He is really squeezing absolutely everything that he can out of this car. Lando Norris was purple in the first sector. Piastri, no thank you, I'll take it from here. We've got the Astons out on soft, so they still think that the soft tires might be better than the mediums. Maybe they'll go out for the mediums on their final run, but for now they're out on a fresh set of softs. Verstappen also on a fresh set of softs. He goes quicker than Piastri in the first sector. He's like, no thank you, I'll take the fastest first sector off you. And Piastri now fastest in the middle sector, looking good. And we've got Norris across the line, a 1:14.9 for Lando Norris. He goes 8/10 clear of Isaac Hadjar, and now let's see what the rest of the drivers can do. It's all shaping up to be a very close qualifying. Piastri across the line, he goes 1/10.5 quicker than Lando Norris. Weekend in, weekend out, Piastri is getting quicker and quicker, and Lando Norris unable to fight back. Here comes Max Verstappen out of the final corner now. All eyes on him. He's purple in the first sector, had a great middle sector. Across the line he comes. It is provisional pole by 0.5 of a second for Max Verstappen. The margins could not be any finer. Oh my goodness me. Alright, here comes George Russell, Mr. Saturday himself, across the line, only 4th position for him. And let's see now, we've got the Williams left on their laps, and it's not looking all that. I don't think it's looking. Actually, it's looking quite good for the Williams guys here. Let's see what Albon and Sainz can do. Their first and second sectors not looking too shabby whatsoever. Alright, here they go. We've got Gasly across the line, 8th place for him. Alonso dives into the pits, and here comes Alex Albon. Sainz and Albon left. Across the line comes Albon. It's a 16.4. He's 1.5 seconds back. And now we've got Carlos Sainz, last driver to come across the line. What's it going to be for him? 8th position. He goes 4/10 quicker than his teammate. Pretty big margin there. Actually, not 4, 3/10 quicker than his teammate. But regardless, Sainz consistently now 3/10 quicker than Well, I say consistently. It's happened twice. regardless, though, Sainz looks to be doing better than Albon. And the same can be said for Piastri. Piastri is looking to be doing better than Norris. In a reverse of what typically happens, Stroll is doing better than Alonso in quali here, and Hadjar as well. I must say, Isaac Hadjar is doing brilliantly. Up in 5th position in the Racing Bulls. I mean, he might as well be the second Red Bull car at this point, because... yeah, sensational performance. That's where Yuki Tsunoda should ideally be if that Red Bull car wasn't undrivable. But alas, that is it's a discussion for a different day. And also, we've got another design. I've got a Max Verstappen design as well, which I think is also kind of cool. But I'm still working in the process of getting all of these designs done. So, if you guys are interested in helping me out, then feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram, F1_gamer_5. Oh, we've hit our subscriber target as well. We're 1 subscriber over the subscriber target. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. And it looks like we're going on our way towards 200k by the end of the season. Simply Lovely. Yeah, there'll be a Simply Lovely one. There'll be, let's add that to the words of wisdom, smooth operator, all the time you have to leave a space. I've got a fantastic... a lot of people in chat suggested it. Most of these designs, I think, are going to go on the... well, maybe on the front, maybe on the back. We'll see how it goes. I'd pay €20 for that. Yeah, I think I would probably be able to do €15 and then €5 for shipping. It's just because obviously I'm not like Amazon, so I won't be able to do free shipping for everywhere. Or like, yeah, essentially a lot of companies can do free shipping because they're shipping out like hundreds of things every single day, whereas that's just not possible really for me. Anyway. That's enough of that. Who is it going to be for pole position? 4 minutes and 30 seconds remain of the qualifying session. And, well, first thing to focus on is who's going to be out on... also, Hadjar... Wait up. Hadjar is in 5th position, and he did his lap on used soft tyres. Wow! That is incredible from Isaac Hadjar. Used soft tyres as well. Yeah. Sip of water t-shirt for sure. Just an incident. Will there be women's sizes? I think there are... I don't know. I'll have to have a look at it, really. I haven't gone too in depth. I've sort of focused on making the designs, but I think maybe they're unisex kind of t-shirts as well, but maybe they don't fit as well. I'll have to have a look. But if you guys want to sort of like give me any sort of ideas or feedback, if you drop them in a comment after the stream is finished or in a different video or whatever, then it's much more easy for me to read them, because on a stream there are like 200 or like 20,000 chat messages, which is pretty impossible to read, but in comments there are a lot less. So if you drop a comment on any feedback or any ideas, then I will definitely read it. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remain. Oscar Piastri, first driver to leave the pit lane. Then we've got an Aston behind him. Then we've got a Williams. Then we've got a Racing Bull. Then we've got another McLaren. Everyone coming out in a nice big mishmash. Let's wait and see who is going to be getting pole position here. Okay. Stroll is out on a used set of mediums there. Stroll is out on a used set of mediums, so he thinks that the mediums are going to work. Maybe Alonso will probably come out on a used set of mediums as well then. If Stroll is doing that. The dot near turn 5. The dot near turn 5 is where Tsunoda crashed. If you sort of zoom in, it says TSU like for Tsunoda. That's where he crashed. Yeah. And Colapinto is the one at turn number 4. The little purple dot at turn 15, that is where the DRS zone is. DRS detection point is, sorry. And the speed trap and the green bit is, of course, the DRS zone. All right, 2 minutes remain of qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen. And only an hour and a half of quali. It's been extended out a little bit because we just had such a long Q1. So here we go then. Previous pole sitters here. Verstappen got pole in 2024. He got pole in 2022. Hamilton in 2021. Bottas in 2020. And Schumacher back in 2006. That is the last time we had... Those are the previous 5 Imola Grand Prix. A very big mix. of drivers. So here we go then. Oscar Piastri, he is starting his flying lap. He makes his way down towards the Tamburello chicane for the final time of this qualifying session. Hits that first apex absolutely perfectly. His foot is pinned to the floor and he can get through all of these corners without losing too much time. Brilliant start to his flying lap there. Max Verstappen, he is still on his out lap, and there's going to be a lot of traffic in Piastri's way, which hopefully they get out of the way nicely. Piastri, he is half a tenth down on Verstappen's first sector time. Half a tenth is the gap from Piastri to Verstappen's first sector. All right, we've got Stroll and Albon starting their laps, and Russell's out on mediums as well. Russell taking the alternate strategy. He's going to try a set of mediums. I guess he's got nothing to lose. He's probably going to be in fourth place regardless. Look at that huge gap between Russell and Hadjar. It's more than half a second between fourth and fifth. Russell has nothing to lose. He might as well just go full send and try and get pole position on a set of mediums. Here comes Max Verstappen to start a flying lap. Here comes Piastri, purple in the middle sector. Mega. He goes a tenth clear of Norris and Verstappen in the middle sector alone. Here he comes out of the final sector. What's it going to be? It's provisional pole for Oscar Piastri by 1/10 of a second. What a middle sector for him. What can Verstappen and Norris do to respond to that? And we've got Stroll starting their flying lap, and so is Russell. Stroll completes his lap. Fifth place for Lance Stroll. Nice improvement there. Russell, though, is getting a mega toe there. Russell is getting a fantastic toe at the start of his lap, but it doesn't matter. Verstappen is purple in the first sector. That car is being pushed all the way to the white line, right up to where the gravel starts, and not a millimeter further. All right, looking at the middle sector time, Lando Norris is slower in the middle sector. Not ideal. He's got the final sector, a couple of corners left to go to put it all together. Otherwise, there is no chance he gets on pole position. Here he comes out of Ravazza, gets a nice exit there, not too close to the gravel, and onto the power. The Mercedes engine screams away. The DRS flap opens. Across the line is Lando Norris, and he stays in third position. Now it's all down to Max Verstappen. Can he get this pole position, or will it be Oscar Piastri? Isaac Hadjar, looks like he gives him a bit of a toe. Here comes Verstappen across the line. It cannot be done. It's 33 milliseconds between Piastri and Oscar Piastri is on provisional pole unless George Russell can do anything about it. Here comes Alonso across the line. Fifth place for him. Ninth for Pierre Gasly. Carlos Sainz across the line. It's sixth place for him. Last drive around. George Russell, what can he do? Is it going to be pole position? Unfortunately not. Oscar Piastri is on pole position again, and if he gets another race win, that's going to be 4 in a row, equaling Ayrton Senna's record in the McLaren. Simply brilliant from Oscar Piastri. Verstappen in second, Russell in third, and Lando Norris, the championship contender, down in fourth position. He's got his head in his hands. What is happening here for Lando Norris? Oh my goodness me, what a qualifying session this has been. Formula One is so back. We've got a triple header lined up, ladies and gentlemen. Imola, then Monaco, then Spain, and Oscar Piastri sticks it on pole position to start out the triple header. We've got Alonso in fifth position as well. That will be fantastic. So we're in for a mega race tomorrow, ladies and gents. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. If you guys could hit the like button and the reminder button on tomorrow's stream, that'd be fantastic. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in, listen to the F1 Gamer podcast, given all of the ideas for merch and everything. Very much is appreciated, and we've had a fantastic quali session, so I hope to see you guys around for the race tomorrow. The race, in fact, will be starting if whatever time it is now in the world for you. If you go back 2.5 hours, that is when the race will be starting tomorrow. So hope to see you there. Press the reminder button, press the like button. Oscar Piastri gets out of the car and he's pumping his fist with celebration. Very, very nicely done from Piastri. And see you in 22 hours time for the race. Hit the like button, hit the reminder button. If you're interested in Surfshark VPN, check that out, and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, ladies and gents.